Hello, gorgeous people, strong heroes of the day. How are you doing? Today I'm going to talk about a game of chess, and I'm going to talk about other stuff like current affairs. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So as you look around the panorama that we see in the world today, what are you seeing? What are you aware of that's happening? What I've seen lately is that there's this kind of unveiling of the last 2.5 years and an analysis going on. I've seen one prime minister of one state in Canada apologizing for how people who didn't take that were treated during this whole debacle that we went through. I've also heard other people apologizing, yeah, and so I think this is this new wave that's coming of these basically new leaders coming in and kind of apologizing for what's just gone on. Yeah, it's nothing new. You know, they did that with the war, didn't they? You know, in 1945, there's been a lot of apologies going on, endless apologies. So this is fast, isn't it? It's like it's just over, and people are starting to apologize about it, and that's great. You know, as I just read that meme again that popped up again, that this is the longest and most excruciating "I told you so" that we've ever lived through. So we're in that at the moment. We're in this revelation going on of information coming out. Quite where that's going to end, or quite where we're going to get to, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, I do know what the end result is. Clearly, the emissaries have been telling me that since the beginning, what the end result is. But quite where we're going with this. Can you remember when they were talking about the waves of awakening? One of them, big ones, was what happened with all of this, what happened with this, you know, what happened with politics. And my God, you know, I had we did an immersion course with my other business a couple of weeks back, and it was just when all of the mess was going on with Liz Truss, is it, and you know, the Prime Minister's coming out. There were memes with the revolving door on 10 Downing Street, and some of the students, well, in one class, were saying, we don't want to go home. We don't want to go home. We are so embarrassed about what's happening. Now, these were very, very asleep people, by the way. But that's where I see a lot of people are. Even the sleeping people are like kind of looking at this landscape and saying, this is terrible. What's happening is mad, absolutely mad. So we've got all of that going on. And then at the same time, what I see is, you know, the Baddies were part of a secret society. Okay? The secret society. And of course, they can't call it that anymore. They can only call it a public society. It's everybody knows about a society. Now, I think what that does is that takes a lot of the power away, because they're no longer secret. And the whole point of a secret society is it can do all kinds of stuff without anybody knowing. But the problem is, like the WEF, you know, the World Economic Forum, all of their agenda is out. And not only is it out, but people are making memes about it, people are joking about it, people are shouting about it, people are screaming about it. Everybody's talking about it, certainly on the alternative networks. That's the last thing that they want. That's the last thing. They've always gone kind of under the radar. But obviously where they are now is it's shit or bust. They're in shit or bust, and we're in shit or bust as well, aren't we? Like, somebody's got to win this race for either put mankind in a prison or liberate mankind. Obviously, we know where it's going. Mankind's going to be liberated, as they say here in Spain, sí or sí, yes or yes. Okay, but they were once hidden, a bit like the Masonic Society. You know, it was a secret society, and then suddenly everybody knows the far end of a fart when it comes to a Mason. Yeah, I used to be one, by the way. You know, I did. I joined. I was fascinated. When I was young, I was fascinated by the esoteric and everything like that. Still am. And so I joined the Masons in Berkeley, in the northeast of England, in a tiny little lodge. And I joined and I went through the whole thing. I went through the 3 levels, the whole thing, the 3 levels, that was all. So I was like a 3rd degree Mason. I was put through the 3rd degree. It was really interesting, I've got to say. And look, I'll tell you this, all of the people that were in there seemed to be very nice people. Okay? But that's not where the problem lies. And now that we know that, you know, it's when you get up to the 2 3s that we're in problems, the 33 degree ones. That's when shit starts to happen. The other ones, the minions down below, they're just nothing. It's just part of the structure, you know. It's the same with like the Jehovah's Witnesses. The Jehovah's Witnesses are just these little minions that do what they're told. The Masons are just these minions that do what they're told. It's the people that lead them, and they're all part of the same thing. They're all part of this baddie network, you know, the dirty, low-life, stinking, monkey bastards. Yeah, they're all part of the same thing. Okay, so you know, we're in times where as I said before, I can't keep up with what's happening. I just kind of, it's almost like I take the pulse of where we are, and boy, things have changed. You go back 2 years. Go back 2 years when the whole of their story was being believed by the whole world. And now, there's so many cracks in it. There's so many cracks in it. It's like an old Greek urn. Yeah. So I was talking with the emissaries the other day, and they were talking about the baddies. They said that the baddies are a hot mess. They're with their words, but they're not their words. I mean, you know, remember they give me an idea and I have to convert that feeling, idea, vibration into words. So they're supposed to be my words, really. But they said the baddies are a hot mess. They are a hot mess at the moment. They kind of cannot. Everything they touch turns to shit. Yeah? Everything they're touching. It's just a mess for them at the moment. You know, in many ways, I feel really heartily sorry for them. No, I don't. I'm really happy for them. Yeah, just thought I'd say that. But no, I'm really happy for them. I'm really happy that they're in the shit and that everything's going to shite. Yeah, see if I can fit any more shit words in later on. And this is what I see, and this is what the emissary said, that what was happening, you know, they were in this lockstep. But now they said it's like they're playing a game of chess, okay? Not 5D chess, just chess. But there are 10 people, imagine what it would be like. There are 10 people all making moves, one after the other, and sometimes at the same time. But they're not able to communicate, and they've all got different plans, strategies. And so what happens is one person's making a move, which is a good move in their strategy. But then somebody else makes a move which completely wipes out their strategy because they've got a different one. And that's what the emissaries were saying, is that they're trying to make, because the leadership is gone, the feeling I get. They're really not being directed very well. You know, maybe the devil's left the building. Who knows? But they're kind of all making these moves, you know, from their tiny perspective. But the moves are clashing with one another. They're really clashing, and they're just really messy. What do you think? That's kind of what I see. This like mess going on, and very soon, continuing the analogy of the chessboard, they're going to put themselves into check, but they're going to do it. And I've said before, the baddies are doing a much better job than the goodies at bringing about the end of the baddies. They are so self-sabotaging, it's awesome. Yeah? I mean, I think, are we doing a good job, the goodies? Of course we are. That's why we're called the goodies, because we do a good job. But are we organised? No, not very. I don't think we are. I think we're generally, we're doing okay, we're going along the right lines. But in organisation, we're miles from organisation yet. We're miles from getting our shit together. Boy, when that happens, and it will, boy, we will be something to contend with. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like we needed to. I think, we've got this little time where we can get ourselves together and get some more people awakened and, join ranks and everything, and then get, we just need a few beautiful leaders to come along, beautiful leaders who love us to start guiding us. And I can see that happening. I can see it happening. Okay? And who knows? Maybe the big leaders, still due to come. Yeah? Jesus, if you believe the Bible and Revelation. I mean, obviously, I think that might be an allegory. And it might be kind of like a leadership that comes. It's the whole idea, isn't it? It comes down on a white horse with his sword going, hey, baddies, bugger off. Yeah, all come with me. We're going to a nice place. That might be an allegory for something big to come. Who knows? Yeah. And who knows who it'll be? I don't know. Or what it'll be? I don't know. But I just have a feeling that we're all kind of milling about doing our stuff. Yeah, singing our song, and I think we just need to have something to help us all to have the same song. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the baddies are fucking it up for themselves, big time, big style, and I think they'll just kind of self-destruct, like on that tape that used to on the this tape will self-destruct. That's it. The baddies will self-destruct in a very short space of time. So, what's the message? Well, there isn't really a message. I'm just felt it was time to kind of comment on what I see and where we are, and that I think everything's absolutely fine. I really think everything's absolutely fine. My gut tells me that everything's fine. Obviously, the emissaries tell me that as well. But it's nice to feel it as well. It's almost like I have a giggle. I notice now is really interesting. This. Can you remember before when we were in the worst place, and the stuff was coming around, all this fear porn, and it would leave you feeling. Sometimes it would leave me feeling bad for hours. I'd see something and go, "Oh my God!" It's not doing that to me anymore, and I'm actually, the stuff that I'm saying is making me giggle, and I giggle and I laugh now. It's very different. I don't know how you're feeling with it, but I just feel like there's a different atmosphere happening. And I'll tell you something else. Robert Martinez, he's a very, very nice guy. He's one of the heroes. He's always been positive and just telling the way it is, but in a nice way, and giving people hope. Even because he's an astrologer as well as many other things. He's an astral traveller and all kinds of stuff. So I've listened to him a lot, and over the time, what I've noticed is that he's been pretty spot on, right? A lot more spot on than we have. Okay? And then when I say we, I mean all the people who have forecast all the things that never happened. Okay? But he's been kind of, why? Because he uses the stars. Right? They haven't changed in a while. Yeah, pretty much doing the same thing as they always have. And he just says, this is going to be a period where we're going to see X, Y, and Z. This is a period where we're going to see a lot of stuff happening. And basically it was. But he foretold the end of the COVID. He said, it's going to stop in this. And that's exactly, effectively what it did. Okay? So I was listening to him the other day, and he was talking about going forward. Now, what he said was that the eclipse that's coming is the last blip on this beautiful path that we have before us. And what he's saying is the eclipse, the energy of the eclipse, it normally is around the death of somebody important or something important. That's what he said. The death of something important or someone. Once that's gone, the eclipse, which I think is the 11th of November or something like that, then he said, everything, the alignment of the stars is beautiful for the next 10 years. Now, stick that up your jumper. For the next 10 years. And remember, he's the one who said that on December the 15th, we ended officially into the age of the golden age, which makes sense. If for the next 10 years, don't know what happens. I didn't want to say, but what about after 10 years? Couldn't give a shit. I'm quite happy for the next 10 years that we're going to have this beautiful, smooth path. Okay? So I think that's why, my gut's telling me that everything's all right. And not because of what Robert said. it just resonates because I think that's where we are. I think that's where we are. I think we're in a good place, and it's going to get better and better and better and better. So all of us who have stuck by our guns, who have stuck by our principles, who haven't backed down, rock on, Tommy. Give yourself a big pat on the back, yeah? Smack your bottom and say, well done. I mean, in a nice way. Well done for doing that. Honestly, at the time there weren't many of us. Now we're many, okay? But especially if you were there at the beginning, going through all that horribleness and still sticking by your guns, and especially if you worked out there, because I had the luxury of not working out there, but lots of people didn't, and people lost their jobs and they had terrible, terrible times. Well done. You are the heroes, truly the heroes of the peace. All right, have a beautiful week, and I'll see you later. I love you all. Bye-bye.